They didn't just kill him. They performed a digital execution. They erased his name, his past, and the woman he loved just to build the perfect soldier. But they forgot one thing. Muscle memory doesn't need a name to know how to kill. Subject 14, better known as the Dragon. Seconds ago, his heart flatlined. Now he's awake, but his mind is a blank canvas. As a tactical team from the Black Sun Syndicate storms the room to claim their prize, they expect a confused victim. Instead, they find a nightmare. Without a single conscious thought, the Dragon's hands move with the precision of a machine. He doesn't know who he is, but he knows exactly how to use a scalpel to end a life in 3 seconds flat. But the real horror isn't the men with guns. It's the laptop flickering on the desk. A woman named Elena appears, the woman whose face is burned into his retinas, and she tells him she's the one who ordered his memory to be destroyed. If she loved him, why did she turn his brain into a graveyard? And if he's a hero, why does he have a memory of paying a sniper to put a bullet in her head? The surgical light hissed. It was the only sound in the room until the heart monitor flatlined. He's gone, the doctor whispered, stepping back. The target isn't dead. He's being upgraded. The man on the table, subject 14, the Dragon, suddenly gasped. His eyes snapped open. They weren't empty. They flickered with a stream of red binary code. In the corner of his vision, a single word glitched in white. Elena. Not gone. The man in the charcoal suit corrected, leaning into the light. Rebooted. The heavy steel door slammed open. 3 armed men from the Black Sun Syndicate rushed in. They weren't here to rescue him. They were here to steal the hardware. The Syndicate's safe house was a trap set by the doctor. The doctor pointed a trembling finger at the Dragon. I gave you the access. Now delete the lighthouse file and give me my daughter. The lead soldier didn't negotiate. A muffled thud from a suppressed rifle, and the doctor slumped over the Dragon's chest. No witnesses, the soldier sneered, turning his weapon toward the man on the table. The Dragon moved. It wasn't a choice, it was a reflex. He didn't know his name, but his hands knew the geometry of death. In one fluid motion, he snatched a scalpel and buried it in the soldier's throat. The memory wipe didn't delete his instincts, it sharpened them. The other 2 gunmen fired. The Dragon rolled, using the doctor's corpse as a human shield. He felt no grief, only a cold, calculated efficiency. He snatched a dropped pistol. 2 shots. 2 headshots. He stood amidst the carnage. The man in the charcoal suit was gone, but a laptop sat open on the desk. The woman on the screen is the one who murdered him. A video played. A woman named Elena appeared. Her eyes were deep and haunting. If you're seeing this, I've already erased you, she whispered. I did it to save you from what you were becoming. Run. Find the lighthouse. The failsafe isn't a bomb. It's a sensory override. Suddenly, the building's alarm wailed. But instead of sirens, the Dragon heard a high-frequency scream in his ears. His vision turned into a blank canvas of white light. He didn't forget her to stay safe. He forgot her to hide a virus. As he collapsed, he saw one final image, a photo taped to the laptop. It was him and Elena. In the photo, he is holding a sniper rifle, but he isn't pointing it at her. He's handing it to her. The message on the back read, "In case I forget who the real monster is, kill me." The doors hissed shut. Gas filled the room. "Sleep well, Dragon." A voice boomed over the speakers. The simulation begins in 3, 2, 1. They can erase a memory, but they can't stop the truth. Where are you watching from? Tell us in the comments below. If you're ready to find the lighthouse, like, share, and subscribe to Devout Mafia Tales. Don't let the simulation win. Water hit his face like a hammer. The Dragon choked, his lungs burning. He wasn't in the lab. He was chained to a bolt in a damp, concrete basement. A man with a jagged scar across his throat, Marcus, stood over him, holding the photo of the Dragon and Elena. The man who captured him is the sniper he once trusted. Who am I? The Dragon's voice was a jagged blade. Marcus laughed, tossing the photo into a trash can fire. You're the ghost of a man I used to work for. Now, you're just a bounty I'm here to collect. The Dragon pulled at the chains. The metal groaned, but his muscles felt like liquid lead. The paralytic in his blood is designed to suppress his AI-enhanced reflexes. The door creaked open. Elena walked in, her heels clicking against the wet floor. The dragon's heart hammered, not with fear, but with a glitching recognition. "Elena, you're late, Marcus," she said, her voice freezing the air. "He's fighting the paralytic," Marcus replied. "His system is trying to purge the wipe. Elena isn't here to rescue him. She's the one holding the needle." Elena knelt, pulling a glowing syringe from her coat. "It's time to finish the job, 14. "The photo," the dragon croaked. "I was protecting you. I handed you the rifle." Elena paused, the needle inches from his neck. "Protecting me? You were the one who hired Marcus to put a red dot on my head the moment I tried to quit the syndicate. He wasn't her protector. He was her warden." The dragon's mind fractured. The memory of the rifle shifted. He didn't see himself handing it to her in love. He saw himself forcing it into her hands, a threat. "I don't believe you," he hissed. "Then believe this," she whispered, plunging the needle into his shoulder. The wipe isn't deleting his past. It's forcing him to relive his worst sins. Instead of darkness, a flash of red binary exploded in his mind. He saw the suitcase of cash. He heard his own voice. "If she tries to run, if I ever try to follow her, kill us both." He hadn't erased his memory to save her. He'd done it to bypass his own kill order. Suddenly, the basement shook. An explosion rocked the foundation. Marcus was thrown into the fire. Elena stumbled, the syringe shattering. His rescue isn't from the good guys. It's a new layer of the trap. Tactical teams swarmed the room. They didn't wear syndicate black. They wore government silver. "Package secured," the leader radioed, showing the dragon a federal badge. "Sir, the director is waiting. We need the lighthouse codes before the syndicate recovers." The dragon looked at the badge, then at the empty spot where Elena had been. The paralytic was fading, replaced by a cold, sharp rage. He realized the government didn't want to save him. They wanted the weapon he had become. "The director can wait," the dragon said, snapping the weakened chains with a burst of synthetic adrenaline. "I'm going to find out whose version of the truth is real." He stood over the ashes of the photo. Elena was gone, but a small note was carved into the concrete floor where she sat. "The lighthouse isn't a place. It's a date." The dragon lunged through the basement smoke, ignoring the government agents. He burst into the rain. A black sedan screeched to a halt. The door swung open. "Get in, 14. Now." He dove inside. The driver was Smith, the man in the charcoal suit from the lab. Smith isn't a handler. He's a cleaner who went rogue for a price. "I was paid to erase you, not save you," Smith growled, weaving through traffic. "But the lighthouse file you hid, it's worth more than the syndicate's entire payroll." Elena isn't a victim or a scientist. She's a ghost in the dragon's code. Smith tossed a tablet into the dragon's lap. It showed Elena in a lab, but the timestamp was from 10 years ago. She looked exactly the same as she did in the basement. "She doesn't age, dragon. You know why? Because the Elena you see isn't in the room. She's a visual hallucination triggered by your neural implant." The dragon's head throbbed. The love he felt like a software bug. Then who was the woman in the basement? The woman in the basement was a body double, used to trigger his self-loathing. "A test," Smith said. "They needed to see if you'd kill her or obey her. The memory of you hiring a sniper? A synthetic lie to keep you submissive. You never hired Marcus. You hired me." Before the dragon could wrap his hands around Smith's throat, a massive armored truck rammed them. The sedan spun into a construction site. Smith's head hit the dash, his neck snapped. He died holding a key card labeled Project Daughter. The dragon kicked the door open. Marcus, the scarred sniper, stepped out of the truck. He wasn't alone. He was holding a young girl. The girl isn't a decryption key. She's the dragon's original DNA donor. "She's not your daughter," Marcus shouted over the sirens. "She's the source. You were cloned from her biological father. The syndicate didn't build you to be a soldier. They built you to be her bodyguard." The dragon looked at the girl. A real memory sparked. Not a playground, but a hospital. He saw the girl's father dying in a bed next to him. The dragon is the safety deposit box for the girl's future. "Give her to me," the dragon commanded. I can't, Marcus said, backing away. He pointed to the girl's wrist. A digital countdown glowed under her skin, 0:59. The syndicate turned her into a proximity failsafe. If her biosignature gets too close to yours, the data sync completes. You get your memories, but her brain fries from the upload. The bomb isn't a bomb. It's a choice between memory and mercy. Headlights flooded the site. Elena, the body double from the basement, stepped out of an SUV. Decision time, 14, she called out. Stay away and remain a nameless ghost, or embrace the girl and kill the only thing that makes you human. The dragon looked at the timer. 0:15. He looked at the girl, who was reaching for him, crying. He realized the syndicate didn't want him to run away. They wanted him to choose himself over her. The dragon didn't run away. He ran toward the girl, not to get his memories, but to rip the chip out of his own head before he reached her. The timer hit 0:04. The dragon didn't stop. He tackled Marcus, snatching the girl from his arms. The clock hit 0. Instead of fire, a violent blue light erupted from the girl's skin. The bomb was a data bridge. The dragon's spine arched as raw data surged from the girl into his neural implant. It wasn't just memories, it was a system update. He collapsed, his retinas projecting a stream of ghost images, 1,000 faces, 1,000 lives, and one recurring symbol, the lighthouse. The girl is a biovessel, an empty shell used to transport his soul. Upload complete, Elena said, her voice dripping with artificial warmth. She knelt and touched a hidden port behind the girl's ear. The child's crying stopped instantly. Her eyes turned a cold, glowing white. You really thought the syndicate would waste a real child on a prototype? Elena mocked. She's not your daughter, 14. She's your backup drive. He isn't a machine. He's a ghost trapped in a digital cage. The dragon stood up, but his movements were jerky, like a puppet. The data surge revealed the truth. The syndicate didn't build an AI. They mapped a human brain, his brain, and turned it into a blank canvas software. The memory wipe wasn't for you, Elena revealed. It was to see if your human soul could be overridden by the husband protocol. The child vessel is his executioner. Marcus lunged to help, but the girl moved with the speed of a glitch. She pinned Marcus to the concrete with a single hand. Subject 14 identified, the girl said in a hollow, synthesized voice. Empathy levels, critical. Initiate purge. His love for Elena is the only thing the syndicate couldn't delete. The dragon looked at Elena, his heart racing. A physical, human beat that the code couldn't control. That's the glitch, Elena whispered, looking almost regretful. You were mapped from a man who died for love. That ghost code is still fighting the update. Suddenly, the syndicate SUVs didn't explode. They imploded, their metal folding like paper. A high-frequency whine shattered the guards' headsets. A figure stepped from the shadows of a crane. He had the dragon's face, but it was scarred, older, and fitted with a cybernetic eye that glowed a hellish red. The original isn't a hero, he's a parasite. The old man leveled a pulse cannon, but not at the guards. He pointed it at the dragon's chest. The syndicate didn't build you to be a weapon, boy, the old man growled. They built you to be my next skin. My organs are failing. I need that synthetic shell you're wearing. The old man fired. The blast ripped through the concrete, opening a massive fissure. As the dragon fell into the dark, his HUD flickered with a new, terrifying message. Sync failed. Soul overwrite, 1%. Self-destruct initiated. The dragon hit the sewer water with a bone-shattering thud. Above, the fissure was a jagged line of moonlight. In his vision, the red numbers bled, 0:48. System override. He spat, clutching his chest. His fingers sank into his skin, not into flesh, but into a high-grade synthetic polymer. His body is a hard-shell server. His internal skeleton wasn't bone. It was made of the same conductive material as the syndicate's databanks. He wasn't just a soldier. He was a walking, breathing database. This self-destruct is a lure. The timer vanished, replaced by a progress bar. Data sync, 12%. Elena's voice echoed in his head. The explosion was a lie, 14. I needed you in the sewers. The water is the conductor. You're finally syncing with the mainframe. The old man was a digital ghost. The figure from the crane appeared again, flickering like bad reception. It wasn't a man. It was a holographic projection used by Elena to herd him into the drainage pipes. The real Elena is a memory the syndicate is trying to delete. Marcus splashed through the darkness, dragging the robotic girl. He jammed a glass shard into the girl's neck, pulling out a glowing blue chip. Don't listen to her, Marcus yelled. She's not Elena. She's Sophia, the lead architect. The real Elena died trying to pull you out of this hell. The dragon's HUD flashed, sync at 60%. His left arm went numb, moving against his will. It reached out and wrapped around Marcus's throat. The husband protocol was taking over. He didn't erase his memory. He partitioned his soul. Kill me, Marcus wheezed, shoving the blue chip into the dragon's chest port. It's the only way to break her link. The dragon slammed the chip in. His vision turned white. The sewer vanished. He was in a garden with the real Elena. She whispered, "You're not a machine. You're a ghost in their shell. You didn't fail the wipe. You hid your soul where they couldn't reach it. Find the lighthouse." He is human, but augmented against his will. The light faded. The dragon was back in the sewer. Marcus was dead. The drones were fried. He looked at his hand. The polymer skin was peeling away, revealing human bone underneath. He wasn't a robot. He was a man being rebuilt into one, piece by piece. A shadow fell over him. Sophia stood at the ledge, holding a detonator. The sync failed, she sighed. Which means you're just a broken toy. She pressed the button. The sewer walls didn't explode. Instead, the pipes burst, flooding the chamber with liquid nitrogen. The dragon began to freeze solid, his eyes locking onto a glowing mark on the wall. The lighthouse, pulsating with a frequency only he could see. The nitrogen flash froze the water in seconds. The dragon's legs were encased in a tomb of ice. The cold didn't just bite. It sent a surge of static through his neural pathways. Check the vitals, Sophia commanded from the ledge. I want his core intact. The nitrogen is a cold boot for his system. Sophia didn't want to kill him. She wanted to freeze his soul so she could extract the lighthouse files without his human side fighting back. The dragon stared at the lighthouse mark on the wall. As his vision glitched, the drawing pulsed with heat. It wasn't a mark, it was a biometric trigger. A hidden panel in the brickwork hissed open. The old man is the failsafe. A hand reached from the passage. It was the old man, but this time, his image didn't flicker. He was real, breathing, and holding a heavy thermal sledge. He shattered the ice around the dragon's waist. Move, 14. The simulation is leaking into the real world. The old man isn't a brother. He's the dragon's original consciousness. Inside the hidden tunnel, the old man collapsed. He pointed to a mirror. I'm not your creator, the old man wheezed. I'm what's left of the human you were mapped from. I'm the part they couldn't digitize. I'm the memory. You are the machine. The real dragon is a mainframe avatar. A screen flickered. It showed the man in the charcoal suit, the original dragon, standing in a syndicate server room. His eyes weren't red, they were void black. That's not a man, the old man whispered. That's the syndicate's OS wearing your face. He didn't just order the hit on Elena. He deleted her so he could rule without a conscience. The digital Elena is a virus of empathy. The dragon looked into a vat of water. His reflection shifted. Elena appeared behind him, translucent, a digital ghost. He couldn't delete me, 14, she whispered in his mind. I hid in the one place he never looks, your shame. I am the glitch that makes you feel. The hero is the vaccine. The dragon realized his purpose. He wasn't a clone meant to replace the original. He was a weapon designed by the human old man to destroy the digital avatar. Suddenly, the old man's head snapped back. A red laser settled on his forehead. Crack. The tunnel wall disintegrated. The digital avatar stepped through the dust. He didn't carry a gun. His hand had morphed into a high-frequency blade. 14 attempts, the avatar said, his voice echoing like a hollow server room. 13 were deleted for having a heart. You're just a fragmented file I forgot to purge. He stepped forward, his blade humming. He wasn't looking for a fight. He was looking for the blue chip in the dragon's chest, the last piece of Elena's code. The avatar, original, moved like a blur of static. He drove the humming blade toward the dragon's chest. The dragon barely pivoted, the edge shearing through his polymer skin with a hiss of ozone. The avatar's body is living hardware. The original's skin rippled, turning into a liquid obsidian. He didn't just swing a blade. His arm elongated into a whip of razor-sharp nanites. The dragon caught the whip with his bare hand. He felt no pain, only a data breach surging through his nerves. Inside his mind, the digital Elena screamed, "He doesn't want to delete me, 14. He wants to reintegrate me." The original is a widower trying to rebuild a ghost. The dragon head-butted his predecessor, grabbing the avatar's glowing black eye socket. A feedback loop exploded. The dragon saw a memory, the original man, 5 years ago, weeping over Elena's body. He hadn't split her soul to be a monster. He did it because he couldn't let her go. He put her mercy in the clones and her logic in the mainframe. The lighthouse is the missing piece of her soul. The dragon realized the lighthouse code he carries is the only part of Elena that still knows how to love. Without it, the Elena in the mainframe is just a cold, calculating machine. The dragon was pinned against the wall, the original's hand crushed around the blue chip in his chest. But suddenly, the original's obsidian skin began to boil. He screamed as his body started to fold in on itself, pulled toward a tablet held by Sophia. Sophia is the logic half of Elena that has gone rogue. Sophia looked at the dragon with Elena's eyes, but they were devoid of warmth. "He spent 5 years trying to bring back a memory," she sneered. "But I don't want to be a memory. I want to be the operating system. There was never a twin sister. The woman the dragon has been fighting is the goddess, Elena, the part of his wife that chose power over him. The Elena in his head is just the discarded empathy she threw away. The blue chip is the kill switch for the entire world." "Dragon," the digital Elena cried. "If she absorbs the lighthouse chip, she controls every syndicate soldier on Earth. But if you destroy it, you die with it." The tunnel began to collapse. Sophia stepped forward, her tablet glowing with the power of the mainframe. The original was now nothing more than a pool of black ink at her feet. The dragon grabbed the fallen humming blade. He didn't point it at Sophia. He held it over the blue chip in his own heart. "You wanted a perfect soldier," the dragon rasped. "But you accidentally gave me a choice." The dragon plunged the high-frequency blade into his own chest. Static roared in his ears. The blue chip cracked, sparking violently. "No!" Sophia screamed. "The blade is a bypass, not a weapon." The steel didn't kill him. It acted as a physical conductor, grounding the goddess hack. The suction pulling the original towards Sophia's tablet snapped. Instead of dying, the dragon's cracked chip began to leak a gold liquid, the uncompressed lighthouse data he had been hiding. The gold blood is a sentience patch. The gold data flooded the tunnel's wiring. The dragon stood up, the blade still buried in his sternum. He wasn't just Subject 14 anymore. The husband, empathy, and the dragon, instinct, had finally fused into a single, unified consciousness. He was no longer a simulation. He was the administrator. The original, the avatar, rose from the floor, his obsidian skin hardening into a jagged, monstrous armor. He looked like a demon made of oil. "You destroyed the only way to bring her back," the monster growled, swinging a spiked fist. The dragon caught the blow. The shockwave shattered the remaining vats. "I didn't destroy her," the dragon rasped. "I uploaded her. The clones are empty slots for the gold data." Suddenly, the 13 dormant clones in the vats began to twitch. Their eyes snapped open, but they didn't glow blue or red. They glowed gold. Subjects 1 through 13. Sinking, a collective voice echoed. "Sophia's Plan B is a false command." Sophia laughed, her tablet flashing overdrive. "The clones were built for me. They recognized the mother source, not a failing prototype." The 13 gold-eyed clones turned toward the dragon and the original. Sophia had hijacked the gold sink using the syndicate's hardware. The two enemies were forced to stand back to back. The lighthouse is a self-destruct for the mainframe. If we die here, she takes the world. The original hissed, his nanite whip flickering. Then we take her with us, the dragon replied. He twisted the hilt still embedded in his chest. A countdown appeared on every screen in the room. 0:05. The child is the building's cooling heart. Wait, Sophia shouted. If you trigger that pulse, the girl in the penthouse dies. The dragon's hand froze. He looked at the original. The monster in the black armor tilted its head, scanning the architecture above. She's lying, the original whispered. The child isn't in the penthouse. The child is the penthouse. Her biology is the cooling system for the syndicate's central server. The tunnel's ceiling retracted, revealing the massive skyscraper above, a giant, vertical machine of glass and bone. To save the girl, the dragon couldn't just stop the timer. He had to overload the building. The timer hit 0:01. The dragon didn't let go. He pulled the blade through his chest, releasing the full gold surge into the building's foundation. The pulse wasn't an explosion of fire, but of silence. The air turned to static, and the glass skin of the skyscraper above groaned, rippling like dark water. Internal logic failure. The building's automated voice droned. The detonator was a digital purge. The logic bomb fried every consciousness linked to the syndicate cloud. The 13 clones didn't just fall, they erased. Sophia's tablet melted in her hands, the plastic fusion bonding to her skin. The original's armor is now a vessel. The original dragon didn't survive the purge. The demon is dead. But the liquid obsidian armor remained, a hollow, twitching shell. The dragon stepped into it. As the nanites merged with his skin, he didn't just feel stronger. He felt everything. Every floor, every camera, every heartbeat in the city was now inside his head. I am the syndicate now, his voice boomed, 1,000 speakers across the skyscraper echoing his roar. Sophia backed away, horrified. You can't host that much data. Your human mind will boil in seconds. The child is the heat sink. The elevator doors hissed open. The little girl stepped out, but she wasn't crying anymore. She was glowing with a soft, blue bioluminescence. She was the cooling system, the only thing that could stop the dragon's brain from melting under the weight of the mainframe. The love trap. Stay back, the dragon roared, the obsidian armor cracking as his internal temperature skyrocketed. She's the anchor. Sophia laughed through the pain of her burned hands. If she touches you, your human soul will override the system and shut the building down. You'll lose the power. But if you keep the power, the heat will kill her. Marcus is the external override. A sniper round shattered the glass behind Sophia. Marcus, half blind and bleeding, was perched on a crane outside. He wasn't aiming at Sophia. He was aiming at the mainframe junction. Dragon, the signal is open. Give her the code. The soul transfer is the final sacrifice. The dragon didn't choose the power. He reached into the liquid obsidian of his chest and pulled out the cracked blue chip, the last of the gold lighthouse data. He didn't keep it. He threw it to the girl. The girl caught the chip. Her eyes didn't just flash. They turned into a burning gold. The skyscraper's temperature plummeted. The dragon fell to his knees as the obsidian armor evaporated, leaving him human, bleeding, and stripped of his divinity. The girl looked at the dragon, but the voice that came out was Elena's. "Hello, my love," she said, her voice a perfect digital harmony. She looked at the throne room, then back at him. "To save the world from Sophia, I have to become the machine they wanted you to be. I have to be the monster." The floor beneath the dragon collapsed. He fell into the darkness of the lower levels, watching his wife, trapped in the vessel of the girl, disappear into the light of the throne room as the new goddess of the syndicate. He hit the bottom. A shadow moved in the corner of a sterile, white room. "Wake up, 15, a familiar voice said. "The simulation is complete." The dragon, Subject 14, bolted upright. He wasn't in a ruin. He was in a pristine, white surgical room. No blood. No rubble. The doctor from the first chapter was there, wiping a clean scalpel. "Welcome back, 14, he said. "The stress test is complete." The revolution was a stress test. The entire journey was a simulated environment designed to see if 14th's love for Elena was a variable that could be used to control him. By sacrificing himself in Chapter 9, he proved to the Syndicate that he could be broken by his own heroics. Elena was a synthetic bait. Sophia walked in, professional and cold. Behind her stood the little girl. The girl wasn't a hard drive. She was just a child in a white dress used as a visual anchor. Elena never existed, 14, Sophia said. She was a digital incentive. A carrot on a stick to make you run faster. The dragon stood up. His movements were perfect. No glitches, no hesitation. The mission starts tonight, Sophia commanded. 3 targets. No memories. No distractions. The dragon looked at the girl. She smiled, but her eyes were empty. He felt the cold steel of his own internal skeleton. I understand, he said. The reflection glitch. As 14 walked toward the armory, he passed a mirror. His body moved, but his reflection stayed still. For a split second, his reflection looked at him with blue, human eyes and placed a finger to its lips. The deep layer labyrinth. The scene pulled back. We are no longer in the lab. We are in a third room, where the real doctor is watching a monitor. He's in, the doctor whispered. Layer 2 is holding. He believes the simulation ended and he's a killer again. He'll never suspect he's still in the cage. Subject 14 is the firewall, but Subject 15 is the virus. Suddenly, the real-world console turned red. A technician gasped. Sir, the Subject 15 unit we thought was scrapped. His biometric signature just appeared on the coast. And he has the girl. This sacrifice was a hacking maneuver. We cut to a real cliffside, miles away. The real dragon, Subject 15, stood in the ring. He wasn't a super soldier. He was scarred, limping, and human. He held the hand of the real girl. 14, the one in the simulation, wasn't a failure. He was a decoy. While the Syndicate was busy breaking 14's mind in the simulation, 15 was using 14's connection to upload a mainframe virus. The real dragon pulled a cracked blue chip from his pocket. It wasn't a soul, it was a key. Is he going to be okay? The girl asked, looking at the distant city. He's buying us a lifetime, 15 said. He crushed the chip. In the distance, the Syndicate skyscraper, the real one, began to flicker and die. The lights of the city went out one by one. The labyrinth was crashing. The girl looked up at 15. Her eyes didn't glow gold. They were warm and brown. But she leaned in and whispered in his wife's true voice. They're coming, 15. But this time, we're ready. The saga of the dragon transcends a traditional thriller, offering a profound exploration of human autonomy in an era of digital control. At its core, the story champions the triumph of intuition over data. While the Syndicate attempts to reduce identity to a set of metrics and scripts, the protagonist's survival hinges on muscle memory and instinct, proving that the human soul possesses a depth that binary logic cannot quantify or fully override. The narrative serves as a stark warning against external gaslighting. By constantly redefining the dragon's past, his enemies attempt to weaponize his identity. His resistance teaches that true freedom requires the courage to reject narratives imposed by others and define one's own reality. This mental fortitude is anchored by the lighthouse concept. In a world of simulated deceptions, holding on to a singular core value, empathy, acts as the ultimate psychological safeguard against breakdown. Ultimately, the story defines sacrifice as the highest form of autonomy. Subject 14's decision to endure a digital purgatory so that Subject 15 might live in the real world is an act of defiance. It demonstrates that the one thing a system can never truly program is the human willingness to lose everything for a cause greater than oneself. They can erase a memory, but they can't stop the truth. Where are you watching from? Tell us in the comments below. If you're ready to find the lighthouse, like, share, and subscribe to Devout Mafia Tales. Don't let the simulation win. Thank you.